How do you decide which yeshiva is best for your child? Welcome once again to the JewishNewsChannel.com. Happy Adar. In this past week's Yated Chinuch Roundtable, panelists were asked the following question. I have a son. I have two yeshivas to choose from. One of the yeshivas is clearly a better fit for my son, but the other one is the yeshiva that I myself went to, and I feel I owe them hakaras hatov. This is what the father posed to the panelists. Do I send my son to the yeshiva that's not the right fit for him because of the hakaras hatov that I personally owe them? And the panelists all responded unanimously, send your son to the yeshiva that's the best fit. If you have hakaras hatov for the other place, send them a check, send them gifts, send them a thank you note every once in a while, send them anything you want, but don't send them your son. And I said to myself, if this were a doctor, the question was which doctor to take my child to, would we even be asking the question? It's interesting to me. Because if you had two doctors to take your son to, and one of them, or daughter, and one of them is a better doctor than the other one, but you owe hakaras hatov for the other one, he's a good friend, or he saved your life, or whatever, would we ever dream of sending our son to the worst doctor because of hakaras hatov? And I don't think that too many people would even ask the question, and I said to myself, do we have the right perspective? I'm not blaming anybody, but as a society, as a community, isn't yeshiva at least as important as a doctor? It's also your child's health. It's your child's mental health, emotional health. It's your child's well-being. It's your child's social life. It's your child's ruchniistic health. I mean, choosing the yeshiva that your child is going to go to will shape their entire life. It's a life-changing, monumental decision. And, the fact that I personally have hakaras hatov, I just don't know, which is what clearly all the panelists agreed to. But just as far as perspective goes, and let me just say this to all parents, certainly talking to myself here, there's no such thing as too paranoid, there's no such thing as overthinking when it comes to making decisions for your child. I mean, this is your kid. This is your kid's life. Your kid trusts you, trusts their parents to make the decisions, to make the right decisions, to do what's best for them. And how many times in your life do you even get the chance to make such a massive, major decision that will impact everything? I mean, you make this one little choice, which yeshiva to go to at a young age, and boom, that'll impact the rest of their lives. And let me give you an example. There was once a conversation that I heard between an investor and a business owner. And the business owner was trying to persuade the investor to invest in his business. And, he's grilling him, the investor's grilling him, and then the investor says to him, he says, tell me about your competition, about your competitors. And the business owner says, I don't know much about my competition. I know about my product. I don't know about my competition. And the investor says, really? You don't do research? You don't research the competition? He said, no, I'm not paranoid. And the investor said, well, I only invest in business owners who are paranoid. And what he meant, he didn't mean to say that he only wants people who have mental health issues or OCD, Rahman al-Islam. That wasn't what he was saying. His point was that, listen, when it's your money on the line, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to be paranoid. But when it's my money, I'm entrusting you, I'm investing $500,000 or $1 million into you and your business. You got to be paranoid because you got to look out for me. Well, our child, we're really responsible. We're their guardian. We're the shomer pikadon, if you will. And you can't be too paranoid. There's no such thing as being too paranoid. Be paranoid. Be paranoid. It's your kid. It's their lives. And listen, I know this is a big issue. I know that when it comes to yeshiva, there's a lot of factors and it gets really tricky to kind of decide. I mean, there's factors like familial pressure, community pressure, which crowd you hang out with, where you're expected to send your kid, which yeshiva is the more in place, trendy place. And then there are other things. Maybe you know the menahel and you'll offend the menahel if you go somewhere else, like the guy in the Yated. Or there could even be questions inherent to the yeshiva. Some yeshivas offer better skills, better learning skills, will shape the kid academically better. Other yeshivas have better midas, better derech eretz, better ben on the chavera. Which crowd will your child be hanging out with? I mean, there are just so many factors to weigh. But I think that sometimes maybe we don't take it seriously enough. Hopefully we do. I know most of us do. But sometimes we just need advice from an Adam Gadol to try to understand what's our goal. Do I want my kid to be happy? Do I want my kid to come out a better learner? Do I want my kid to pick up derech eretz in yeshiva? It's really tricky. We're trying to get people thinking here. Obviously, I'm not going to solve all the problems right here on the Jewish News Channel and on Matzav, but I think this is something really important for us to consider and for us to recognize. And just one final thought as far as perspective on what it means to be making these decisions for our child. The Gemara in Shabbos refers to a child as an eravon. The Gemara says that Hashem gave a person an eravon. Eravon means a deposit. Rashi says it means a mashkon, collateral. When I deposit money with you, that's called an eravon. And it could be that the Gemara really is telling us, and I heard something similar to Shem and Adam Gadol, the Gemara is really telling us this concept that Hashem entrusts us. This is an investment. We're being given an investment. We're being given a sum of money, an invaluable sum, an immeasurable sum, worth billions and trillions of dollars and even more, because it's our kid. And they're trusting us, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is trusting us to make the right decisions and to be paranoid, because that's what we owe our child. We can be meichel on our own decisions. We can't be meichel on our kids. Something to keep in mind. Thank you very much for being here again on the JewishNewsChannel.com and on Matzav, and we will see you next time.